There's three parts, actually. One is forgiveness in your heart. Two is forgiveness once you talk to the person. And then third is reconciliation. First, forgiveness in your heart. As a Christian, we should always forgive before anything happens. Like, there's no, like, apology. Okay? In other words, we as servants of God, as children of God, it is not right to perpetually hold bitterness and resentment against another human being, regardless of their wrong towards us. We shouldn't want revenge. We shouldn't want ill of them based on what they've done towards us, which, to be fair, some hurts can be very painful and very deep. I don't want to underestimate that. But if you're talking about whether bitterness and anger and hatred should exist in your heart, no, right? Number one. So in other words, given a time, because sometimes I'm not saying you got to forgive in that minute or that day, right? Because some wounds are so deep, you need to kind of process it to even figure out, why am I angry? Like, why exactly am I angry? Because if you don't process that, you can't really forgive deeply, right? And then you process that so that you're able to give that up to the Lord. Number one, you forgive in your heart. Number two, what I said yesterday, if your brother sins against you, Matthew chapter 18, verse 15, you go to that brother, you and him alone, and you tell them how they've hurt. How you do it is this. How you do it is you pray. You seek counsel if you need to, like let's say Pastor Dave or other older believers, if you need their advice, and ask them privately. But if you don't need to, kind of go directly and talk with the person. Figure out a time that is private, that is good. You sit down with them and you describe the facts of what happened and how that made you feel without name calling. Okay? So for example, if someone made a joke that was particularly sensitive towards you, I don't even know what it is. You're short. I don't know. Like, right? And you say, hey, remember that time when we were like on the basketball court and you called me like you're short, or like one of the youth called me like, why are people so old? Like, they're talking to me because I'm saying I just can't do the fireworks thing because they're playing works, and I just can't. I just don't have energy. He's like, why are people so old? She's like, I am so sorry. She was like, she felt so guilty. But whatever comment it is, I say, you said that, and then that kind of hurt my feelings because it kind of made me feel lesser or whatever. And then you wait. Don't say like you're a jerk when you said, you know what I mean? Like, that's called name calling. You're pronouncing a judgment. Like, that's no longer how you feel. That's what you want to say to them to get back at them. Like, so don't do step three. Report the event, report how you feel, and then give them space. Allow time for clarification. They might say, oh, okay. They might say, oh, I'm sorry. Like, did I say that? I'm like, yeah, you did. And then they're like, oh, I didn't mean it that way. Okay, but it kind of still hurt me, right? And then give them that space. And then hopefully the ideal situation is they actually apologize. If they don't, there's nothing you can do if it's a less serious case. If it's a more serious case, you should speak to a church leader to see if it's worthy of church discipline, in which case it's kind of outside of your hands. Yeah? But at least you did your part, which then leads to my third part, which is reconciliation. If they do apologize genuinely, but also genuinely is hard because sometimes, depending on your expectation, you might want them to apologize in the perfect way. But no one really, as long as like it's relatively, like, they don't have to cry. You know what I mean? Like, if they say, I'm sorry that this, like, some people aren't criers, or they just don't look guilty, right? But if you sense that they're actually genuine, then you should, if you had done step one, which is you already forgave them before talking to them, you should already be ready to say, okay, it's okay. I know you didn't mean it. I forgive you. Okay. Reconciliation means that you do not hold their offense against you towards them in your next interaction, nor do you ever bring it up again. If you need to bring it up there.